Welcome to my channel. My name is Annie. Today we are going to make a rustic bread. So for that, I'm going to use some all-purpose flour. We have some all-purpose flour here. I measured in grams, so I have 500 grams here. So, and I'm going to use some salt. I'm using about 10 grams of salt. I'm using some instant yeast, and for that I have 8 grams of instant yeast, and I have some water. So water, I am using 375 grams of water. So I'm gonna put the yeast and the water together. So I'm just gonna warm up my water between 105 to 110 Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna mix it with my flours for about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna start the recipe. For that recipe, I'm gonna use a Dutch oven. This is the Dutch oven here. I'm gonna use a thermometer. Any thermometer should be fine. I'm gonna use a spoon. You can use your hand, and I'm just gonna use this one to mix my water and my yeast. So those are pretty much what you're gonna need, and also you are gonna need a big pan so you can mix your flour in here with water and everything else. So we are going to start. I warm up my water, and I'm gonna add the yeast. I'm gonna let it set for about 10 minutes. Just gonna whisk it here. Okay, and I'm gonna let it set for about 10 minutes. Okay, after 10 minutes now this is the mixture of the instant and the water. So I'm just gonna take my clean pan here. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna mix it again a little. I'm gonna add my flour. I just want to cover my water mixture so I don't mix it with my salt when I put it on the top. I'm gonna put a small crater here. I'm adding my salt, and I'm gonna mix it. So as I say, you can use your hand, but I'm just gonna use a spoon for me it's easier. So it's gonna be a little bit wet, and which is what you want. So you're gonna take just a spoon or something you have. You're just gonna take it out of your spoon. So you just keep mixing it. until it comes together. I know it takes some muscle, but it's a homemade bread, so as I say, you can use your hands. It's okay. So you just make sure you check on the bottom to see if there's some flour. It looks like everything is mixed well. So I'm gonna let it set for about 25 to 30 minutes just for the mixture to set. You can put a plastic wrap on top, or the towel is fine. Okay, for me, I'm gonna use a plastic. So we're gonna let it set for about 25 to 30 minutes. After 25 minutes, this is the way it looks. Now we are going to mix it, fold it. So I'm gonna use some, just wet my hand here, and I'm gonna fold it in the pan. Until it gets tight. I'll just wet my hand so it doesn't stay, it doesn't stick. And eventually it's gonna start to get tighter and tighter as we do it. Just go around. Until we get this small ball. Just gonna go around again for one more. Okay. Now we have our ball here. You can see the ball. And we're gonna let it set for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It just depends how your kitchen is warm. So usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I'll let it set for about an hour and 45 minutes. That's the way it looks in here. Now we are going to take it out of the pan. It's gonna be very sticky, so we have to be careful. Okay. Okay, so before I do that, I'm gonna put some flour. Just want to make sure you put enough flour. As I say, it will be sticky, so we just do our best here. And we're gonna do, we're gonna fold it. A little bit more flour. And I have a round panettone here, so I'm gonna put the bread in here. So we're just gonna do a fold. One side in. The other side in. One side in. We just want it to be very tight. Just try to close here. One side. And to make it tighter, we're gonna do another one. Just gonna flour again. One side in. One side in. Now we want to make a bowl. Now we have a bowl here. We are going to put it in our mold. Here it is. And we're just going to let it set for about an hour. And while we are doing it, we're just going to start our oven. And I'm going to put the Dutch oven inside once it's hot for about 40 minutes. I just took the Dutch oven out of the hot oven. So it was in the oven for about an hour at 475 degrees. So now we are going to put our bread. It's very hot, so you have to be careful. If you do the recipe, I'm gonna keep it here for a moment. So now we have to take the bread out of the mold. And I'm going to use a parchment paper to put it on, but this is the way the bread looked like after an hour of proofing. So I'm just going to try to make it as easy as I can. So you pretty much do the best you can also, because it needs to go back to the oven. So I used in here. I'm gonna take it off. You just go slowly. Okay, so we have our bread out. This is the way it looks. And now we are going to put it inside the Dutch oven. So I use a parchment paper. It makes it so easy to put in. You just want to make sure you don't burn yourself. Watch your hand. It's very hot. And we are going to put it back in the oven for 25 minutes at 475 degrees. So we're just going to cover it. Sure. And again, it's going to go to the oven for about 25 minutes with cover on. I just took it out of the oven after 25 minutes. So I just wanted to show it looks like. This is the way it looks like. after 25 minutes. Now it's gonna go back into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it depends how you would like your bread. If you want it a little bit darker, you can do the 20 minutes. I like to do 15 minutes, so I'm gonna put it back for about 15 minutes without the cover on. Okay, so this is the way it looks. I just took it out of the oven and I did about 15 minutes. So if you prefer it again darker, you can leave it 5 more minutes. But this is the way I like my bread. And I'm just gonna let it rest for an hour on my baking rack so everything is still hot. Just gonna try to take it out of here. So just gonna move those here. So you have, when you take it out, just be careful. So this is the way, that's the way your bread's gonna look like. So, and I call that the rustic bread because it's pretty much the top. You don't have to do any scouring in here. It's very hot, so just gonna fill the back of it. So here you have it. I'm gonna let it rest for at least an hour before I cut it, and an hour or more. So it's how you gonna feel it. So you are welcome to subscribe to my channel. Now it's cool enough to cut, so we are going to cut it and see what we have. I'm gonna go in the middle. This is the way it looks, and it's still a little bit warm, which is very nice. So it's pretty soft in here. You hear the crunch. So here you have it. Again, this is a rustic bread. Thank you for watching and have a good day.